Hello guys, it's Paula back to do a video. It's Sunday evening and I want to show you what I've got done on Alice. All I did, I showed you the papers. I just simply cut the papers and got them into signatures. So nothing has been stitched or glued or anything for this book. I did finish the Make Time to Journal. Let me tell you, this book is not that easy, just so you know. After I got my binding on it, I just put it on the front and the back and left it here. But I had put a piece of chipboard under there onto the binding because I don't know if I heard it or saw it or what. But anyway, so when I started flipping these open, this was the only one that would flip open. And now they all flip open. I had to go back and do some repairs, and trust me, it was not fun. But the only thing on this book is that this is the first one that wouldn't even open. And it's pretty flat now. And the last two are the tightest for some reason. I think I probably should have stuck with just doing 6 instead of 8. But this was a learning curve for me as well. I'm looking here to see how the other pages are doing while I'm flipping these away or toward the back. Okay, so I just did some stitching, random stitching, zigzag and straight stitch here on both sides and down the middle. I didn't even look to see if it was straight, and then it didn't look perfectly straight, but that's okay. I like the way it turned out. And yeah, so that's that book. And I don't even know if I'm going to list it on my Etsy. If anybody's interested in it, just contact me through the conversation portion of Etsy and just say Jane Davenport book. Okay, so today or tonight, my dog is, if you hear her, I'm sorry. She is on the door thinking her dad's, listen to me talk, dad, that my husband is in the other room, but he's not. And when he's out there, she wants to go out there too. So if she gets too noisy, I'll put her in her little crate. So it's been several weeks ago, but Gail did a lot of embellishing, and I want to start looking at some things for the Alice book. Now, the Alice book is all primary colors, as you know. And so I just want it to be pretty, cool, you know, a lot of collaging and so forth. And I want to use these hearts in there somewhere because I think the colors are perfect. And I want to use lace and scraps and whatever over here I've got on the side. And I'm going to turn my light on those so I can actually see them. And we're just gonna start making things that would possibly fit into the Alice book. And then when it comes time to decorate it, we'll decide what goes and what doesn't, okay? And then I'll try to get it stitched, all the stitching done, and so forth. Okay, so my chair is now at the level that, you know, I can't tell if I'm in camera or not. It's driving me crazy. And I've got this new lighting thing, and you've heard about that, so I don't need to talk about that anymore. But I'm going to set this Alice book where I can kind of see the colors pretty well. And I'm as prepared as I thought I would be. Not super prepared, but I just knew it was time to make some embellishments. And so, okay, so I'm going to put my cutter out because when Gail was doing her Embellish It series and working with old paper and a lot of things, she did some tags and so forth. So I'm going to do some tags. She glued 3 different pages together. Now, I'm going to try this because I haven't. But I'll tell you right now, I don't like the white on the side. She does, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, I wouldn't turn it down. But I'm going to start cutting some of that, the sides off. And then, if we only get 1 tag, that's fine. We only need, I've got enough to make 3 single tags. So, my blade is acting up, of course. I'm going to have to get a different blade already. I feel like I just replaced it. So crazy. Yeah, this side is... Let's see if when I do this side here, we can make 1 big tag out of this. But I'm going to try to save all I can of the words. I hope you guys had a good Sunday afternoon. No, it's got to be changed. I'm sorry, guys. I would have been prepared to change it had I known it was going to act crazy. I save, whenever I replace my blade, I try to just use it on paper, you know, and then put the other blade back on until I'm ready to put paper on. It just kind of seems to help a little bit. I'm sorry, all my stuff is kind of falling down. Okay. It's because I have so much garbage everywhere. So let's change this. As a matter of fact, I have the date on here, 1/25. But I did make 2 books. See? I know. I try to date them, you know, but so I know, because I forget whenever I change them, and I spend crazy amounts of money on blades, I feel like. Well, it would help to take the little cover off. Okay, there we go. Now, hopefully it will cut better. If not, it's just the paper. Okay, so we're going to cut down about right here. And I thought we would make, yeah, it was the blade. We'd just cut down until we just have, at least on the front side, this portion. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut them all. We'll cut them all and then set the cutter aside. And that way we can, you know, let me see if I have any big tags laying here that I can just cut around. Yeah, here's one. I have my credit card thing. I just too lazy to dig it out of the... I just use a tag that's close to the same size. This is going to be a chubbier one, or we're going to cut it down. Let me think. Since this is torn right here, I think we will cut it down. And it, you know, it's going to be like the size of a 3-inch tag. Perfect. And let's see what the height. We're a little shorter, but that's okay. So now we'll trim the corners. And we'll decide on the hole punching later. I don't think this is going to be big enough. I don't know. Let me try my... See, this one is much bigger. It's all in what you like. I think I'm going to do the bigger one. This is when we went to Alaska, it's my little card that I just brought home and thought I can use that to do acrylics or whatever, you know. Okay, so there you go. And we got that one cut. Let me get all the scraps off here. And we will go to the next page. Now, I'm thinking on this page we can make some this direction. And yes, I know that we can either do that or we can do 2 long skinnies. Let's do the 2 long skinnies first. And then we'll do some with the text the other way. That doesn't bother me. You know, it just doesn't bother me. Especially when you're using like something that's vintage and, you know. So, now, I'm not going to make them as tall as some of the others would be. So this measures out 3.5, just slightly over 3.5. So I'm thinking if I want to do, let's do 1 3/4. Let me see what that would be. Right here, that would be way too much. So 2 inch, just under 2 inches. So maybe 1 3/4. 1 3/4. I don't know if they'll come out even or not. We'll just have to see. I'm telling you, my one's a little bit smaller. My cutter, just barely though, see. My cutter is, and not all that old, because my other cutter stopped cutting straight. And I think we're going to use the punch for this one. And it frustrates me that it does that. So let's do some. This little punch will punch the hole. And then you can flip it around and it will punch 2 different designs. Let me get to the right place first. I don't know where I'm going. You just got to push it up in there. I got this on Amazon. And I've used it many times on cameras, so you guys are probably aware of it. But just for those who don't know where it came from. See? I like that. I like the tags to be as different as possible. So this time we'll just do a regular hole punch. Guess it would help to turn the text upward. Punch a hole. And let's see, which one did we use last time? Let's use a different one. Okay. So what you do is you just flip your tag over into the punch and use the same side, because there is a slight difference on the opposite side. So there you go. I'll have to get the little fuzzies off. Okay, now on the next one, I like to do them different if I can. But on the next one, where'd my paper go? I got a little bit white on the back, which that's okay. We're gonna trim it up, get them all trimmed. What would we do without Gail? She comes up with some of the greatest ideas. Well, you know, she's been doing it a long time, and I'm sure you learn a lot after that much time. She really does a good job. Okay, kudos to Gail today. Anyway, so I haven't tried any of her. I don't think I've tried anything that she did. So, you know, we might try some other. I can kind of think of some collage books she did that were real similar to my, okay, so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking these are going to be small tags. So this measures just under 6 inches. So we'll do 2.5 and see how far it takes us out. We may not get very many, is what I'm saying. We probably should have went with 2, but that's kind of different. Let's see. Let's go with 2 on this one. There's a 2. And then we have a little tiny one, which on the little tiny one, I'm going to shorten it down to 3 inches. Just so it's more like you would expect. Okay, now I'm going to move this for now. We'll be back with it in a minute. So I'll probably use this little punch, this little edge that's on this tag. So I just thought out of these 3-layered book pages, we could just make some tags and collage them and do what we want, ink them however we wish, and so forth. Now on the back of this little mini tag, it looks like it's the blank space. If I can get my scissors lined up. So we can take this and we can hole punch it at the same time. And then if we decide we don't want to have a hole and we want something else, I'm going to go back and do this big one. How about we do the big one with this, the oval punch. Yeah, and look how crooked it is. Oh my goodness, I was so off on that. Let's see if I can get it, see if I can repair that. If not, yeah, that's a little better, so I just need to keep moving over. It's just going to be a big one. Now, that's better. See, never give up. Never give up, because you will be able to do what's need be. Okay, now, we have this one. I think I'm going to do this oval one on it, too. See if I can be in the middle. Oh, my word. Usually, oh, got it the first time. What can I say? Oh, we got to do the edges. I think I want to do the bigger edges on this one since it's so wide. I need to do up some more credit cards. I've had this one forever, and do some different sizes so I don't have to pull out old tags. I just, you know, have to have the time to do it, I guess is what I'm about to say here. Got to have the time to do it. Since I've been doing YouTube, I feel like I am in my craft room a lot. And I like that. I'm going to do this one with this as well. I should have got some gesso out. We could gesso some of these, and that will give them a different look. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't get my little hole punched. Okay, so we're going to gesso. Let me grab my gesso. Hold on. It's right here. It's been a while since I've used it. Just looking for the dog. She's very restless right now. She thinks that she's missing out on something in the living room, and she doesn't realize nobody's in there. Okay, so I'm going to open up the gesso. I think I'll lay a piece of paper under it if I've got any scraps around here. Let me see what I've got. A lot of times I use just something in the scrap box. Here's one. I don't know how that got, oh, it got marked on the other side. So this will be my, sometimes if I'm doing something messy like this, I like to get my, let me get my brush. Alright, I've been using this broken one because, well, I want it to be the first to go in my... I'm going to do the back of this with gesso. See if we can cover up some of that. And then we can... And you don't have to have it perfect, you know, but my goal is to get rid of that title there. Now, you can do just some of it, and then flip it over and do more whenever you would like. The nice thing about gesso, it just gives it a different look, you know. And I like to do it messy. So we'll see how this takes to gesso, because it's old and it may wrinkle up. If it does, we'll move on to something else. Or we'll just decorate it anyway. Well, look at that. That must have been an extra piece. That wasn't even glued down, guys. So we'll flip it over. Wonder if the other side has one that's not. Looks like it didn't get glued down very good. So let's stick some gesso in there and see if it it seals it. I don't know if it will or not, but you never know. We'll try it. Okay, and then we got this giant daddy tag. Okay, whoops, I'm sorry, I'm hitting this case that has all my collaging stuff in it that's giant. The reason is because I outgrow it. You know what I'm saying? I outgrow it, and what can I say? I'm just going to leave that down. Well, no, I better take this out of the gesso. I'll wash it out a little bit. I didn't know I was going to do this, or I would have had out some water. Here's some of that and put on here. The last one was pretty. I keep parchment or wax paper or whatever on here to keep these from sealing up too much. Okay, so let's get our dryer right here and just dry them real fast. Now, I only gessoed on one side. That's all I'm planning on doing, because I may get down to where I want to do the opposite side. And if you have these not sticking well together, I used a glue stick like Gail did, and but it's not the same glue stick. But I now have some of the Yoo-Hoo glue stick. You can get it at Amazon, but Hobby Lobby and so forth does not carry it. Just so you know. Michael's doesn't carry it. Joann's doesn't carry it. I've looked everywhere. So I suggest to you, if you do this, that you use a stronger glue. Because look, see what it's doing? So I'm just going to put some Fabri-Tac inside. Because I don't want to waste our time. It's just this one part. Don't want to waste anybody's time, mine included. Have you guys ever just, you know, you can't just go rent a movie anymore unless you do Redbox, but they only have current movies, and every once in a while they'll throw an old one in there. I've been wanting to see Runaway Bride for some reason. I don't know why. I went through the same phase with Father of the Bride, and finally got those watched, but they just happened to be on a couple weekends ago, and I finally got those watched. And then it was between them and Father of the Bride 1 and 2. And then also, let's see if any of these need to be glued while we're doing it. Just this edge right here. Sadie, Daddy is not in there. You go lay down. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. But I think he is. He's been in there all day. Okay, let me get a wipey. If I can find them right in front of me. Okay. So that one is glued. Let's see if there's any other parts. Good grief. Do not use glue sticks on this. They're not going to stay together. They're staying together in the middle, but if you pick up one edge, it feels like, I feel like it just takes other edges with it. The middle seems really tight. It's just this outer, the little edge is probably where I cut it. You know, it loosened them up where I cut some of it down. Looks like all this part, whoop, there's a little bitty tiny one. This is why I'm not a super fan of using the old paper. This is another reason, is because it doesn't take much to affect them. But I just want them all to be together. I feel like it's a waste of time otherwise. I just said that, didn't I? Okay. That's the Grammy in me. You know, they repeat things. And I remember when Rick's mom was older, and she lived to be 92. And she actually just died about 2.5 years ago. But my mother did the same thing. You know, they just repeat the same thing because they're not healthy enough to, you know, go anywhere. And so you just sit there and smile and act like you've never heard it before. Or you could be my daughter and say, Mom, I think you told me that. I'm like, thanks, you could have just listened. Not really. All I can talk about is YouTubing now, because that's what I do most of the time. I'm either getting something ready, or I'm doing demos. Okay. I almost always bite off more than I can chew, such as doing the Jane Davenport book and trying to do Alice at the same time. 2 Alices. I'm thinking on the other one how I want to do it. I was going to use a gold envelope on it, but it's actually bigger too. So I don't know. I'm going to have to see. I'm going to prowl around. I may have to go to see if I can find the actual book size. All the books I have are too big or too small for it. So I don't want to do that. Goodness, we might as well start it from scratch, right? Okay. I get the glue cleaned off my hands in 30 minutes. I have it back again. I think we already did this one. Nope. Guess not. There's a little crack right there. If I can get the glue to go down in it. And then it's just going to ooze out onto my hands. But that's all right. All right. All the other corners are fine. Let's see if this one's holding up. And of course, adding that gesso on there, that may have been what loosened it up, now that I think about it. because I didn't notice anything being loose. But who knows? Got strings everywhere. Strings of glue. You wipe the big ones off. I think we have one more to look at, guys. I'm sorry, I didn't expect this. I've had these glued together. Gosh. I guess maybe even while Gail was doing it, because I was going to try them at home. And then I just decided today I want to put these in the some of these in the Alice book. And so when you look on the sides, you can see when the paper is separated a little bit. And the thing is it separates in a small part, so you can't really get your glue spout down in there. But I'm not worrying about that. I'm just putting it down there and squeezing it in. And then I'll just work it in with my fingers. And that's why I will be sticking to everything. So, let me see. Here's one little spot right here. Nope, there's the spot. That's a big spot. All right, I think that's it. We can, if we see any more as we go along, we'll just glue them as we go. How's that sound? Let me wipe off the glue. It's pouring out like a volcano. I wipe it and then it comes right back. Crazy thing. I will never like the glue. And yes, I just repeated myself. Okay, let me get this off. I had it all off. I really scrubbed my hands in the shower and got all the glue off. I was like, oh, don't want to stick to my hair when I dry it. Good grief. If I peel it off too good, I'll not have anything to peel later. You know how it bugs you? Okay. Okay, we are done with that part. Yeehaw. Okay, so I think the next thing we need to do is ink. Ink it up a little bit. And I'm going to do a fast ink, because I'm not a real fan of taking forever, so I try to hurry. You know, I can always go back and add more to it if I decide to, because I don't want you guys to be bored to death while I'm inking. So I'm just going to ink a couple at a time, because we may decide to move on to something else. And I thought we would do a couple small ones. Now that I think about it, I think I want to do this one. Or do I want to? Let's do this one. And we can always go back and do more of them. I just don't want us to run out of time in the meantime. And so with the gesso, when you ink with the distressed ink, I think the gesso really makes it pop. And then I'm just kind of going to go over, just hit it every now and then with the, I didn't glue this one, you guys. Oh my goodness. I might just be better off stitching them. But I don't have the right color in my machine. I just changed my machine to yellow. So I'm going to use a bright yellow on the pages inside the book. And see, look at this. This, I didn't glue this one, of course. After I've got it completely inked. Let me just hit it real fast. That whole sheet is wanting to come off right there. But this will help. I couldn't remember if I'd done them all. to be honest. I lost track. Okay, so if we need to glue somewhere else, we'll glue as we go. Right here. This has 3 layers, so one side can have some loose ones and the other side can have some loose ones. Okay, didn't expect this, but do what you do. Okay, so we're just going to work them one at a time and go from there. So I'm thinking I want to use primary colors, and I'm going to get some fabrics and lace and all that out and see what we can come up with. Now we know we want to stick with primary colors, and I'm going to flip this over so it's not so distracting. Okay, now I just want bright colors. Like this is even bright. There is blue, there is purple, and there is blue, light blue and light purple. So we could use that if we wanted to. Here is a fabric heart from Ooh La La Crafts we could do something with. This is just a small bag of fabric. I have more fabric over here. I'm just trying to use these up, if you know what I mean. There's some more of that. Here's some blue. This is a vintage one, I can tell. Some of these are really old. Like, look at this one. It wouldn't go, but this one will. We're sticking with primary colors. Let me see what else we have. This is another piece of the blue. We have some pink. I don't know what that's doing in there. Wrong bag. Here's some more pink. And I see some yellow in here. I think. It's a little piece of yellow. This stupid twine wants to hook onto me. Okay, and here's some more. I wished I had some red in here, but it doesn't appear that I do. Oh, here's some more of the other one that I liked. See, look at those cute little blues. And here is another type of blue. This must be gonna be our blue and pink item. Some more blues. All right, that should be enough to start. If we need more, we'll drag some more out. Okay, so I'm thinking what we can do is I think I want to take this purple and pink, since it's so long and it's ruffled, I mean it's raveled on one side but not on the other. I think I'm going to put it along the side, or maybe this side. No, I like it on this side. And I'm just going to hit the glue right here toward the top, just across a little bit, and then I'm going to put it here. Maybe we'll go all the way up, and then we can always trim it. Keep it to the side, keep it even or flush, or you don't even have to do that. I kind of think it would look cute hanging off. Well, my glue has already worn off. I didn't put enough on there. This will work. This big blob will work. Okay. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. And this is coming out like a crazy person. It's going to be more glue than anything. I hate it when that glue gets to that point. I need to just keep a bottle of acetone on my desk, so when it happens I can just pour some in there. I like to just put a little bit in between each ruffle. So basically that's what I'm doing, is just putting random ruffles on here. Now you do have to put some glue underneath too. Stupid Can't really get it to cooperate. Okay, then we're going to put a little bit of glue right here. I could get out a different glue, but this just glues so much faster. Okay, what happened there? Our little spot right there didn't hold. So let's hold that down. Then go like this. This is easier than I'm making it look. I've done it quite often on things I've made. But my fingers are so sticky from gluing these tags together that it's wanting to hang on to me instead of the tag. Now, I didn't plan on this going all the way down. You could, you know, it would be no problem to do that. But I just decided to, I want to flip it up here on the end. Kind of bring it up. Then we could put a button or something right there. Let me show you what we've done so far. And it is a mess. It's all over me. That's how I can prove it. All right, now let's decide. Do we want to put some lace down through there? I'm looking here and trying to decide what I've got in my little lace bag. So I have this little bag of lace. I have way more than this, but I just kind of put some in here from leftovers. Oh, we got some little flowers. We got these little things that could be toppers. I don't want the red. We've got a ruffle right there. We could do something with. Let us see. We'll hold it. Trying to see if there's anything that will work with this color. There's some purple. Oh, there's some. I think that came out of Christmas time when we did Christmas, something at Christmas time. Well, most of this is not a long section. You know what I'm saying? They're little pieces. So, oh, here's one that we can use if it's long enough. Yeah, this one's longer. Here's a pink one. It's pastel, but that's all right. It's long enough. But I just kind of want nah, I don't like that. We can do it like a little collage if we want, or we can continue this on down the side. Let's do that. We'll just stick it under right here. Excuse me. Of course I'm coughing. I'm on video. There we go. We'll just put this right down this side. Just to make it different. I'm looking to see where the dog is. I hadn't heard from her in a while. She hadn't been over here bugging me. Okay, so there we go with that. Now let's see. I did kind of like this too. But I don't know where we'd put it unless we put it right there in the middle. Nah, it didn't go. So I'm thinking, I'm looking and thinking at the same time. So I think in between, of course, the one time I need something with tons of cover. Let me look in my Ooh La La Crafts boxes. I've got a couple boxes here, and let me bring that over and look in it. And I got some purple here, but it's not the right purple. I've got some, isn't that beautiful? That lace is just beautiful. Love it. It's Christy from Ooh La La Crafts, who sends me goodies to share with all of you, and gives you the opportunity to go over and check her store out. And let me see if there's anything that has color besides the thing I like some of these skinnier dangles. Like here is, look at this. Oh, I love it. But I was thinking maybe I just use parts of it at a time. So maybe we can get some to dangle right here or hang down. Let's try that, see what it ends up looking like. We never know till you try. You know, you just don't know till you try. So maybe I'll cut 2 of these off right here. And go from there. So, of course, I can't stand the little ragged edges on here, so I'm trimming those off on the top. Move some of this other stuff out of the way. It kind of gets confusing. Okay. Let's see. So if we could just, let me see if I want to separate those. I don't know. I kind of like just that one, really, honestly. The other one just doesn't appeal to me as much. Oh, that's cute. I think we'll glue it up here, though. And then we can kind of have it go down the ribbon. It's kind of girly, but the majority of us are girls, right? I set one thing down and I knock another thing over. Do you guys do that in your craft room? See, my problem is that I like everything in order. I can't stand anything out of place. I'm like that in my house. I'm like that in my everywhere. It drives me nuts. I remember when I was younger, I'd clean every 3 days or something crazy like that. I'd vacuum every day. And, you know, I thought that I needed to. We all know that's not completely true, right? Okay, we'll save this one for something else. Let's get a button out. Now, I'm thinking, do we want to use, what do we want to use for the topper? Let's see what buttons we have in here. Oh, look at this, is cute. How perfect is this? We've got a little heart here. I have to always stop and think about how to put these things on every time I use one. Here we go. Maybe we want to use it as our topper. We don't have to fill the hole up there. Yeah, I think I like that. But you got to leave it up a little bit. See? And then, if we have a button, that button's too pink. Let me grab my purple container of buttons. I have all my buttons in jars right next to me, and they're separated by color. This, I don't have a lot of purple, obviously. It's not a common color. But I kind of think I would like to have a lighter purple to put right up here. I don't like that either. We may not put a button at all because it's not appealing to me. Maybe we need a different, this button is pretty. Look at that. It's all variegated. I feel like if we put a button on, it needs to be, well, crud, I just dropped all those. It needs to be up here, not close to the heart. You know, it can be up by the heart, but not as close. So I'm going to put that button on because I like it. I don't know what happened to that purple button that went bouncing away. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I sometimes I use my mom's vintage buttons, but not always. And I am a firm believer that you add crochet thread. I use the Urca color. I guess that's what it's called. That's what I think it is. Off-white, basically. Put it in, and I don't tie bows because, not because I can't, but because this crochet thread does not really do a pretty bow, so I tie it into a double knot, and if I can find the end of the string there, it's kind of hiding from me. Of course, everything's sticking to my fingers. There we go. And then I just glue these down. You could use a glue dot if you wanted to, but I don't think it would hold long term. Some people might disagree with that, but I feel like it wouldn't. I'm going to hold this up and let you see it, but I love, I don't do a lot of purple, but this, you know, had purple in it, and I thought, well, that's purple, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to kind of put it in between the two ruffles that we have here. Now we could, I would say we could stamp, I'm sticking to that. Okay, let me make sure you can see. See, my lighting is darker than what you're seeing, so that's why I get up to show you, because I don't trust. So I think this is cute. Now we got to think about what are we going to put it in. I kind of like to coordinate pocket and tucks and stuff like that. I like to kind of coordinate them a little bit. That's just me personally. I'm looking here to see what I've got that I can add to that. I can make a pocket out of. Let's see. Sometimes you can just take like even a Project Life card. Of course, this says thank you, so I wouldn't use it, but you know what I'm saying? And honestly, I don't know if I want to cover this up. I think I want to make a side tuck that's on the right side of the page and tuck this in sideways. So otherwise, it's going to get completely covered up. And what was the point of us decorating it, right? Okay, so I do want to show you too some things we're going to put in the book. We'll do some more, but do you remember this? I did in the red and purple. So this glassine bag and tag, this little small envelope, I did some stitching. I put some cheesecloth and red button there, and then I made a little card for the inside to kind of match. It's like little stationery. I always think I have to have at least two things match, but that's just me. And then we have a clip, a ticket clip. So those three things will be in the book somewhere. And then now we have our purple. So I think what we're going to do now is move on to another tag. And I think rather than do one of these big tags, we'll do this little tag. It won't take as long, and then we can move on and make something else. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Now, that way we can ink this one pretty quick too. Alright, so I think this is a super cute little tag. And we have all kinds of, let's do something blue. This looks like the right size for something blue. And I don't care if it's crooked or whatever. I think we'll just start a collage right here with this blue. It even has little checks, which is cute. Now, I'm thinking as we go, blue, blue, blue. I know I have a big bag of blue flowers. And what did I do with them? There they are. Oh, I just found the rest of my lace. All else fails, look to the right. I have another table, just a little bit smaller than the one I work off of. And here's a cute little blue crocheted piece. And let's see what else we got. I think a little piece of rickrack or something would be cute if I had my rickrack out. Let me see what we got over here. Here's another little blue. I'm digging in my scraps. My recent scraps. This is not the right blue. That's not the right blue. Of course, when you want it to be, it's not gonna be. All right, so we could do some cheesecloth behind it. This is not teed. I just noticed that it's kind of white, but that's okay because of the gesso. And I don't know how it got in my scraps, but it did. So I think if we lay some of this on here and just let it land however it wants to land. That's kind of how I like to do it. And let me put a little bit of glue there in the middle. It's going to cover up some of our gesso, but it also, you know, it's not dark, so you'll be able to see through it. Okay. All right, now let's add some glue to the back of our fabric. It's hard to tell which side is right, and they both look identical. Isn't that crazy? Let's get under the light so I can see. They do. They look identical. So we shouldn't have any problem. Now I'm just putting random glue on here because it's going to hold down. Hopefully to this and not me. So I'm a cuticle biter. I don't bite my nails, but I bite my cuticles, and my hands are so dry this winter. I've never had them be as dry as they are, and I think it's the wipies. And so, yeah. So a little bit of that glue just got in one of my cuticles. So that was a sudden stopper. It's like, ow! What was that? Okay. I'm going to try to keep the items up on this one so we can tuck it into a pocket or something. Now I'm going to trim the sari silk, but not sari silk, the cheesecloth. But I don't want to, how do I say this? I don't want it to be way down here. I'm just going to kind of cut it up as much as I can. That way you don't have trouble putting things into your pockets and all of that. So that fabric is not glued all the way down, I can tell. The edges are kind of loose. You always got to watch it when you collage anyway. If you want it to be down where it doesn't hang on anything, you got to use a whole lot of glue. And I don't care. I'm just careful when I put them in and out of their pockets, you know. I just be really careful, or as much as I can. Okay, so we can use a scrap for a topper, which this is a different fabric, but it's the right color, so I'm just going to fold it in half and see if we can get it into the hole. If not, because it's a tiny little hole, if not, we'll do something else. Yeah, see, there's a cheesecloth behind it. So let me pull out my, I like to top with buttons, and I like to top with snaps. Sometimes I will top with a safety pin, which would be cute on this one. So let's see what I did with my safety pins. Isn't that terrible? I rearranged things the other day, and I put things in different spots. I tell you, and I don't remember from time to time where I put stuff. Okay, I don't know if you guys have ever used these. These are the coilless. Blah. That wouldn't roll off my tongue. Pins, you know, you can do all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to, instead of adding beads, I'm going to find a couple small buttons to go on there that are the right color. Like here's a little one. Where did it go? Oh my word. It's because it stuck to my finger, and when I went to grab it off, it just flipped out. Okay, here's another one. I'll find it eventually. There's one that's not quite as dark. Oh, that one's clear. I like it to kind of be solid if I can, and that one's not really. Here's one. Let's do this one. I don't think there's any more in here that we could do. I don't know if we can get more than one on there, honestly. I was looking to see if there was a tiny one in the right color. That will work. Okay, let me put these to the side. And if you notice, I put a little button shape on top and colored them the color of what's in these jars, because I can only see the tops. Mine set down in a roll around, and I can only see the top of the thing, the button, the whatever. I don't know how these are going to work because I haven't used them with buttons, but I think they'll be fine. Now, hopefully you guys can see. Nope, they're going to want to flip the other way, so let's do it the opposite way. You never know till you start working with these safety pins and stuff what way they're going to lay once you clip it. 2 is the most you can put on here, I can tell. There we go. That's cute. Look at that. It's got the cute little clip. See how it's dangling? So now we have a blue tag. We got purple, we got blue, we have red already. So I think we're going to do one more. I think I want to do this one. And the reason is I kind of tore some of the paper off in the back, but that gives it some of the little style we want. I want to use this bright heart. And I think I'm going to use some muslin behind it, because I think that would be cute. Now, how much muslin? I don't know. These are my small scraps of muslin. And most of them are tea stained, but you find one every now and then that's not. We'll just go with that one. That one's fine. Let's see if it will tear. I don't know if it will. You know, sometimes if you get it too short, yep, it did. Good for you. Okay. All right. Let's pull a few of these little ones off on that side, and let's put it here. I think I want the biggest fringe at the bottom, and then we can put do it very simple, and let me think. Maybe we can use some muslin for the tie. Let me look and see if I have any other colors that might blend. Oh, there's a gold. That's not what I need, though. Thought I might have some yellow in here, but I don't. But I do have. Do you remember our little bag of seam binding? Listen, I haven't used any of this yet except on the books, the Valentine books. There's still a couple in the store, and they really turned out cute. But I'm going to hold this over my trash because it has glitter. I'm going to separate it over my trash, I guess is what I'm saying. And then I'm going to be covered in glitter. I used glitter sprays for some of these, and when you fold them shut, they're a little stiffer than if you just use Distress ink. But I like that if you want it to stay kind of crunchy looking like this. So let's go ahead and glue these two things down. This one went really fast. I like that kind of collaging. I like to collage with fabric, and is my favorite. Different kinds of fabrics and little doodads. But I like to do it with paper too. I like to combine, really, to tell you the truth. And I don't know what I'm going to do until I sit down. The only thing I knew was when I was putting away these little hearts the other day when I was doing Valentine stuff, I was like, I want to use that on the Alice because it's primary colors. And so I'm just going to put glue on the center portion, not on the little crocheted edge. And it actually is a crocheted edge, which I think is cute. And that'll give it more texture. Now you could keep going and doing whatever. You could stitch around this, but I think you can overdo the color too. So let's get this side. I think I opened up the other side, didn't I? Well, maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not crazy about this. Was the shimmers in the little container. I'm not as crazy about it like that. Look at my hand. Look at the glitter on my hands. Woo, yeah. But you can use a lot of sprays. There's a lot of different sprays where the glitter doesn't come out as bad. Okay, I'm just going to tie this in a double knot and then trim away whatever we don't want. Okay. Let me do one. I think instead of tying it double, I like the way this top is laying. So I'm just going to get my tiny attacher and attach this, if I can get it in there over all the ruffles. from the seam binding, my very favorite way to cover or to color seam binding, what did I do with my bag? There it is using distressed ink. It's just more of a cleanup, but I wanted to try the sprays because I've seen that done too. Let me see how much time we have. Oh my goodness, we've gone over. Alright guys, we've been on here an hour and 10 minutes and we've done 3 tags. What can I say? No, we looked at the 2 books too. Okay, so the 3 tags that we got done, we'll do some more. I'll do another video on embellishment since we didn't get a whole lot done. Is right here. I'll show you the 3 we did. I'll come in on it. And let's put the yellow in the middle. And then we got to go. Alright guys, we have reached 1100 and something. And I appreciate you guys. And I just want you to know that I do. And for staying in there with me and giving me encouragement. Alright guys, we are going to close this video. If you haven't subscribed, come be a part of the craziness. And I'll try to stitch the pages and maybe get the binding ready. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with that. But anyway, hope you had fun, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.